also the things that women put themselves through in the attempt to become a mother. And some of the things we don't talk about are the alternate ways of becoming a parent. Yeah. And some of those involve not being pregnant. But we don't go there because it's still quite taboo. Whether it's adoption, whether it's IVF, whether it's surrogacy, which of course is complicated in India now. But I think it's nice to have those conversations.
Yeah. But now I'm going to go into each role that most women, and especially you also, have taken up. First, we'll talk about Soha, the daughter, right? When you speak about having a Bengali mother, I always believe, because now people will say that I'm speaking of from a place of bias because I come from a Bengali family, but I feel like Bengalis still worship to Ma, to the Devi. So eventually Bengali families have, I'm not saying all, but many, or majorly a huge section of the Bengali families have always given more agency to the women in the family.
Yes.
Like even if my mother is a homemaker, there's no decision which is taken without her opinion. And then we may agree to disagree, and that happens with each one of us regardless of our gender or our age or our social status. Having a Bengali mother and a father who was so accepting and who believed in equal opportunities given to everybody, how important was it to have them as a child? Because most kids today suffer from that.
That's true. And in fact, as a child, you think what you are growing up around is normal. And only when you have some more exposure do you realize how privileged you were. And both of those, I think, to have a role model in my mother, who was a working parent, who was the breadwinner in the family, who was the one who was sometimes not there for birthdays or important functions, whereas my father was there and very present. And then to have a father who is typically from a royal, you would imagine feudal, aristocratic, Muslim background, you would think perhaps he would be more conservative, but he was very progressive in so many ways. So I think all of that I took for granted growing up. But now, having interacted with the world so much, I really appreciate that. And I see how that shaped who I am today. How now it's very normal for me to expect that I should be able to work, I should be able to be a parent, I should be able to have everything that I want. Maybe not at the same time, but I can still manage so many things because I've seen that. And similarly, my expectation from my partner, because a lot of young girls see their fathers and those become role models for them, and that shapes their romantic relationships as well. And